Greetings to all who may
I need to be stopped!
Welcome back to the worst channel in all of YouTube. I'm TipperGames420, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Figuarts Son Goku and Son Gohan Kid and Kinto'Un exclusive edition, or as most rational people call this, the SDCC 2024 Goku. It was announced sometime in May of last year. It was probably solicited sometime in June of last year at the affordable, very, very low price of $100. Now granted, that's probably not the worst out of the three figures as far as the value for your dollar goes, but it's certainly a steep price, and I can definitely see why some people were put off by it. But fortunately, and a bit of spoilers for the review going forward, this guy was not only one of 3 exclusives to be announced for SDCC 2024, but he was also one of 3 event exclusives to be announced for SDCC 2024 that was actually worth your time. Save for its girth, the box is pretty much what you've come to expect out of event exclusives at this point. Pretty cool monochrome line trace art of Goku and Gohan on the front. All the usual logos and shit on the bottom, designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, Bandai Spirits made in China. A clear window that shows Goku, a little bit of Gohan, some of their accessories, and their name. Son Goku and Son Gohan Kid and Kinto'Un exclusive edition on one side. On the other side of the box you get a picture of Goku and Gohan on the flying Nimbus, or Kinto'Un, their name once again, Figuarts logo. And on the back you get some product shots, some blurbs if you want to read them. Pause it because I'm not going to do it for you. And then the Bandai Namco distribution sticker. And on the very bottom you have a line trace image of Goku and Gohan, their name, and the Figuarts logo. That riveting information out of the way, let's get Goku out of his box. And like what I've been doing as of late with these videos, I'm just going to show you the only comparison that I think is actually worth your time. So here Goku is standing next to the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku and the Dragon Ball superhero Goku. Really, I don't think I need to hold your hand and explain this shit to you. The 3 figures are very obviously going for drastically different things. The only noteworthy differences on this guy sculpt-wise are the head and the boot sculpt, and quite fittingly we're on the cusp of the part of this video where I actually get to explain that to you in a little more detail, and that would just so happen to be the paint and sculpt, or the aesthetics. And yeah, overall this figure looks really, really good head to toe. And just to preface, no, he doesn't have this color separation in person, it's just camera picking up the differences in his plastic. Quickly just get the negatives out of the way. While he does have a matte finish, which I do really like, it's not 100% consistent. It gets kind of glossy on the back for whatever reason. And speaking of inconsistent things on his back, shading on his legs is non-existent on the back for whatever reason. It is there on the front, it's just very poorly applied. It just took an airbrush and went right across his knees, and it doesn't look convincing. With that, and I guess the fact this is just Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku at his core, I think that gets the negatives out of the way for this guy aesthetically, because just about everything else on this figure looks, well, incredible. The head sculpt on this guy is brand new. He's got thinner spikes of hair with less definition, big round ears that original Dragon Ball and the earlier days Z had. Face is very well done. So just overall, I think this figure perfectly captures Goku's likeness, and just to further cement how Tamashii were committed to the bit, they even changed the boots. Pinstripes are thinner, he doesn't have the knot for the rope at his ankle, and his toes are also slightly softer in their sculpt. They're slightly rounder in their shape. All that is to say, Tamashii were just really seriously committed to the bit for this guy. And if the attention to detail in Goku's sculpt really wasn't enough to sell you on just how much Tamashii were committed to the bit for this figure, the accessories certainly will. Because there is a shitload, and all of them are to recreate very specific scenes, which is something that I appreciate. For Goku, you get 3 faces. You get a gritted teeth face and 2 happy faces, one where he's looking forward and one where he's looking down to his left. All of them are done well. They're very, very faithful to the shots they're meant to recreate. I don't know what else I can say, they just look incredible. Then you do get a decent selection of hands. A few of them are reused, namely the martial arts stance, power pole holding, and chopping hands. Those are all just rehashed from previous figures, so there's not much else to say. But then you do get two completely new hands specifically for this figure. One of them looks to be a retool of Warrior Awakening Goku's special stance hands, whatever the fuck you'd call those. It's designed to hold Gohan, and then he also has a special hand for holding the power pole, which could be used for specific kinds of gestures and whatnot. And lastly, for Goku's accessories, you do get a windswept head sculpt and the power pole, or Nyoibo. Windswept head sculpt looks good, not much else to say, and the power pole is a red rod of plastic, so equally as much to say there. And then you do get Gohan. He's a pretty simple little minifigure. You get really basic articulation that really isn't worth your time going over. Not much to say there. He looks nice. He's got alternate top piece that allows him to sit down, and that's really all there is to say. And you also get a clamp piece to help Gohan rest on Goku's arm. And the biggest accessory of the bunch, you get the flying Nimbus, or Kinto'Un. Comes complete with two tail pieces, one that's going straight behind it, and one that's going down with an arc to make it look like it's coming off the ground or spinning around or something like that. It looks great. Fortunately, it's a very, very light piece, so you should have no issue putting it on a Tamashii stage. That is to say, if this figure actually came with a Tamashii stage. To clarify, there is no flight stand for the flying Nimbus. Fuck this! Moving into Goku's articulation, his head can look up that far. Even without the neck, you get some pretty good movement. Down about that far. Side to side out of his neck, no problem. Full 360 out of the head. Full 360 out of his shoulder, complete with foreshadowing on par with the amazing Digital Circus.
Someone's venturing out into the void!
Shoulder goes that far up if you don't want to break the sculpt. That far if you don't give a shit. Full 360 out of his bicep. Double joint at the elbow, wrist pivot, and swivel. And as an added bonus, the hands are nice and easy to swap on and off on this guy. Torso can lean that far forward, that far back, tilt side to side, no problem. It's a little bit of rotation out of the lower waist, but nothing too crazy. Full 360 out of his sash, and then we get to his legs. I don't know how common of an issue this is, but the movement on his thighs, on mine, is ridiculously tight. Granted, I've had multiple Gokus with this issue before, and none of them have snapped or sheared or anything like that. His legs can kick out to the side, no problem. They're standard fare for 2.0 Goku, so nothing crazy. Pretty decent thigh swivel, again, nothing too out of the ordinary. Double joint at the knee, barbell joint at the ankle. It goes that far in, that far out, that far up, and that far down. Toe crunch, it goes up that far and not too far down. I don't know why it goes down to begin with, so with that, I think that's all there is to say on this guy, so let's wrap this one up, shall we? And at the end of the day, this is probably the best 2.0 base form Goku we are ever going to get. Even factoring lowest Born Saiyan into the equation, this is bar none the best base form 2.0 Goku that you can get. The face prints are easily some of the best Tamashii have ever done. The paint job on him is really, really good. Plastic feels really nice. Accessories swap on and off, no problem. Everything just works fresh out of the box, for the most part. My copy does have some QC problems, but from the few reviews that I've seen of this guy, I don't know how common of a problem that is. If it is an issue on yours and you're scared of breaking it, just hit it with some shock oil. I usually just use WD-40 to get the job done. But all the issues and lack of a flight stand aside, this guy is really good overall, and this is certainly not the worst Tamashii could have asked $100 for. So yeah, that's really all there is to say. The only gripe that I have past this point is the fact that Saiyan Saga Goku should not be an exclusive. Given how pivotal of a saga the Saiyan Saga was, this should just be a standard over-the-counter release. I don't understand why Tamashii are doing this, but with all that said and done, this has been Dipper Games 420, and I'll see you guys next time.